guys, and welcome to another episode of Working Money, getting your money working for you. Now, I just wanted to take a quick sec to remind you guys, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Click that little bell for new video notifications, and like the videos if you guys like the content I'm providing. And always comment on the videos. I love hearing what you guys have to say. So guys, I was looking around today, I found this article here, Ripple's first client. Executive speaks about the journey from 0 to 1. And this is very interesting because, we know Ripple as a company that is partnered with over 200 banks around the world. Who knows what the number is today? And this article's about their first partnership. And it's not a long article, but I'm going to talk a little bit about this with regards to how this is going to create a domino effect to incentivize banks to finally adopt XCurrent and then eventually XRapid. So let's start reading the article. With Ripple's disruptive approach to cross-border payments, it is only natural that regulated parties would be reluctant to sign on clients. And as we know, guys, with regulation, with these heavily regulated industries, regulators don't want to just jump on board to things right away. There's a lot of red tape involved. They don't want to risk losing their business license. They're going to be reluctant, right? Ashish Birla, the senior VP for product at Ripple, spoke about signing on their first client and the challenges associated with it. He stated that they had to convince the banks to get on board, quoting, a period of 2 to 3 years to just get the first bank on board. He went on to speak about how no one wants to be the first, comparing it to finding a prom date at high school. He said, we realize that like the United States isn't going to be the first adopter. The regulation in the United States is too tough. The banks were not incentivized to take any risk. And so this exactly goes to my point of, you have to play by the rules in your country because you don't want your business license to be revoked. And in any industry, new adopters don't want to take the risk. They look at the system they currently have, the SWIFT system, and they're like, well, if it ain't broke, why fix it, correct? And so this is the pervasive thought in the banking and financial industry. Banks just don't want to change the way they do things because they see their businesses as very profitable, and why disrupt that, okay? So Birla spoke about their campaign to go to Asia and Germany, where more favorable regulation exists. Ripple's first client was an online bank known as Fidor, which adopted the technology back in May 2014. Oh, can you imagine? Matthias Kroner, the CEO of the bank, said, Ripple enabled us to securely and instantly send money anywhere in the world at no additional cost and through the same customer-facing products and relationships we offer today. The SVP said that no one was going to hear about their first account, going on to describe the excitement that they felt when they signed them on. He stated, they said yes, and we were like, oh my God, we found our prom date, and they got things going. He described Ripple's further journey into the space with their expansion into Asia. It was the perfect time to enter the Asian market, said Birla, stating that they wanted to leapfrog the West. He stated, going from 0 to 1 clients for any fintech is just tremendously hard. You got so many people to convince. Regulators are backed up right now with listening to all sorts of things. So guys, this is a classic example of, 0 to 1 is the hardest, right? They always say the first million's always the hardest, right? After you've made your first $1 million, getting to 2 million and 3 million and 4 million and 5 million is a lot easier because you have the money to back yourself, to explore more avenues and to use that money to make more money for yourself, correct? And also, we got to remember, guys, that when the banks start using XCurrent, we know that there is a 30 to 40% savings with the use of XCurrent. And then eventually when they move to XRapid, which uses the XRP token, there's an additional 30% added to that. So I'm going to go and I did a little bit of an analysis here. So the savings for using XCurrent for these banks is 30 to 40%, okay? And then the savings for using XRapid and XRP is an additional 30% on top of this. So that would equal a 60 to 70% saving. So I did a little bit of a case scenario to show why a domino effect will incur to incentivize banks. And I use Santander and HSBC as examples. We know Santander is currently partnered with Ripple. I don't know about HSBC if they are or not, but it doesn't matter. Just for the sake of argument, we're going to say that they're not. So for example, HSBC sends $10,000 for a client and they charges the client a $200 fee. Again, guys, I just pulled these numbers out of the air. I don't actually know what it costs to send $10,000 through HSBC. I'm just using these numbers as an example. Okay, and HSBC is not using XCurrent. And now Santander Bank sends the same $10,000 for a client, and their service fee is also $200. But Santander Bank uses XCurrent. So let's just, for example, we're not going to talk about XRapid right now. So they're using XCurrent. So XCurrent saves between 30 and 40%, right? So let's take an average of that. Let's say it's 35% on average, somewhere in the middle on the fee. So Santander Bank charges their client less money because the $200 fee less 35% is now $130. And that's a savings of $70. And here's how the domino effect will occur, right? We say instead of pocketing the $70 savings for themselves, Santander decides to pocket half of it, so $35 of that, and give $35 back to their client in the form of the service fee. So now Santander profits an extra $35 on the transaction, and the client now only pays the $200 less $35, so $165 for the transaction. So guys, when HSBC realizes that Santander is only charging $165 for the same transaction that costs HSB's client $200, they have to do something. And guys, what are they going to do? Obviously, they're going to have to. Their hand is going to be forced to adopt Ripple's technology. Guys, and this will only get compounded once the banks move from XCurrent to XRapid, obviously, because the savings is higher, okay? So guys, what do you think about this? Do you think the banks will fall in line and a domino effect will occur once the big companies have adopted Ripple's technology? Or do you think that everybody's just going to stay complacent and everything will be the status quo? Tell me what you guys think. Like the video if you like the content. Please subscribe to the channel. I love hearing what you have to say in the comments. See you in the next video, guys.